Alright guys, so today we're going to go over Units 3 to 4 Study Guide Review. So number 1, Sheila makes stuffed peppers. The model shows the ratio relationship for the ingredients. What is the ratio of cups of rice to peppers? Choose all the correct answers. So we need to do cups of rice to cups of peppers. So first we need to figure out how many cups of rice there are and how many cups of peppers. So peppers we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then cups of rice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's not peppers to rice, it's rice to peppers because order matters. So we know that should be 7 to 5. So that automatically gives us B. But it also tells us to choose all of the correct answers. And most of the time that means that there's going to be more than one answer. So if we keep looking, we also see E has 7 to 5. Moving to number 2. Draw a line to match each ratio on the left with an equivalent ratio. So 2 to 8. Well, we don't see 2 to 8 over here, but if we simplify 2 to 8 by 2, 2 can go into 2 one time, and 2 can go into 8 4 times. Well, I have that right there. 1/6. That's already simplified. So maybe it's going to be something a little bit bigger. So what about if we go to 30? 6 times 5 is 30. 1 times 5 is 5. Look at that. 10 to 2, that's not simplified. Let's go ahead and simplify that. Both even numbers, so we can simplify by 2. 2 can go into 10 5 times, and 2 can go into 2 one time. So we get 5 to 1. But we don't see 5 to 1 in here. We see 1 to 5. But what if I work my way up? Multiply by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 10 times 2 is 20. We do have 20 to 4. Now D gives us 16 to 4. That one's not simplified. They can both simplify by 4. 4 can go into 4 one time, and 4 can go into 16 4 times. So I get 4 to 1. Now 1 to 5 is not going to be used. All right, moving on to number 3. Kendra and Dallasy practice archery. Kendra hits the target 3 times for every 5 misses. Dallasy hits the target 5 times for every 7 misses. Who hits the target more? Show your work. So we're given that Kendra hits the target 3 times for every 5 misses. And Dallasy hits the target 5 times for every 7 misses. All right, well, 5 and 7 don't really have a common denominator there, but if we multiplied them, we can make a common denominator. So what do I do to 5 to get 35? Multiply by 7. What do I do to the bottom? Got to do to the top. 3 times 7 is 21. What do I do to 7 to get 35? Multiply by 5. What do I do to the bottom? Got to do the top. 5 times 5 is 25. So Kendra now hits the target 21 for every 35 misses, and Dallasy hits the target 25 times for every 35 misses. So now that we have the same number of misses, we can see that Dallasy hits the target more. Number 4, a store sends boxes of flower pots to a nursery. There are 192 flower pots in every 32 boxes shipped. So 192 flower pots to 32 boxes. Plot points on the graph to show how many flower pots there are for shipments of 3, 6, 12, 18, and 24. So if we're given 192 flower pots for every 32 boxes, well, I don't even see 192 for number of flower pots or 32 for number of boxes. But I know that I have to use these, and we know that 32 represents boxes, so these numbers have to stay on the bottom because order matters. So we have to find for 3, 6, 12, 18, and 24. It's not really an easy way to go from 32 to 3, but I can work my way down for one box. So what do I do to 32 to get 1? Divide by 32. What do I do at the bottom? Got to do the top. 192 divided by 32 is 6. Now what do I do to 1 to get 3? Because I work my way down, I can work my way back up. What do I do to 1 to get 3? Multiply by 3. What do I do at the bottom? Do the top. 6 times 3, 18. So I can go ahead and plot that one. So I go down here, 3 to 18, and plot my point. Now, what do I do to 1 to get 6? Multiply by 6. What do I do at the bottom? Got to do the top. 6 times 6, 36. So I start at the origin, move to the right 6, and then up to 36. All right. What do I do to 1 to get 12? Multiply by 12. What do I do at the bottom? Got to do the top. 6 times 12, 72. So I'm going to start at the origin, move to the right 12, and then up to 72. What do I do to 1 to get 18? Multiply by 18. What do I do at the bottom? Got to do the top. 6 times 18 is 108. So I'm going to start at the origin, move to 18, and then I'm going to go up to 108. What do I do to 1 to get 24? Multiply by 24. What do I do at the bottom? Got to do the top. 6 times 24 is 144. So I'm going to start at the origin, move to the right 24, and then I'm going to go up to 144. Now, if you'll notice, all of these dots are in a straight line, which means that they are going to be equivalent fractions or equivalent ordered pairs. Anywhere that the line hits, here, here, and here, are also going to be equivalent ordered pairs. Okay? Now, moving on to number 5. The graph shows the relationship between the number of hours Teresa spends knitting and the number of squares she completes for a blanket. Based on the equivalent ratios shown in the graph, how many hours does it take Teresa to knit 265 squares? So we know that X represents the hours knitting and Y represents completed squares. Well, we know we're trying to get to 265 completed squares, and the highest this graph goes is 60. So over here on my table, I'm going to write 260 as the last Y place. So I need to go in and fill out for all 4 of these ordered pairs. So I'm going to start at my origin, move to the right 3, and then I'm going to go up to 15. So that gives me the ordered pair of 3, 15. I also have 6, 30. Then I have 9, 45. And then this last ordered pair is 12, 60. Now, if you look, you can see, what do I do to 3 to get 15? Multiply by 5. What do I do to 6 to get 30? Multiply by 5. What do I do to 9 to get 45? Multiply by 5. What do I do to 12 to get 60? Multiply by 5. Well, this last one, I don't have anything to multiply by 5 to get 260. But I know that multiplication and division are opposite. So if I go backwards, 260 divided by 5 should give me my answer. And 260 divided by 5 is 53. So how many hours does it take Teresa to knit 265 squares? That would be 53 hours. Number 6. When Alexandria walks her dog, she travels 1,000 feet every 4 minutes. Today she walked her dog for more than 4 minutes. Which phrase correctly describes the number of feet Alexandria traveled? So let's reread that. When she walks her dog, she travels 1,000 feet every 4 minutes. And she walked her dog for more than 4 minutes. So that means she's going farther than 1,000 feet. So 250 feet is less than 1,000. So if she walks 1,000 feet every 4 minutes, it's not going to be she's not going to walk less. So that also takes out B. 1,000 feet, well, she's going past that 1,000 feet. So it has to be more than or greater than 1,000 feet on number 6. Number 7. A hardware store sells toolboxes. The table shows the types of tools in each toolbox. Becca says that for every 14 tools in a toolbox, there are 2 hammers. Is she correct? So if we add all of these up, we have 2 hammers, 5 pliers, 6 screwdrivers, and 3 wrenches. So if we add all of these together, we get 16. So that should be our total. But where is she getting this 14 from? Well, if I take 16 and I subtract the 2 hammers, I get 14. So it wouldn't be 14 tools, 14 total to part or hold apart. She would be comparing part to part because this is not the whole. This is the whole. So if we add all those together, we should get 16. So she did not, or no, because she did not include the hammers in the total. All right, number 8, Tina's Potpourri uses 15 drops of lavender oil for every 3 cups of rose petals. Jocks wants his potpourri to have a stronger lavender scent than Tina's potpourri. Which mixture should he use? Well, we have 10 drops of lavender oil for every 3 cups of rose petals. Well, he's putting less lavender with the same amount, so that's not going to give it a stronger scent. So it's not going to be A. Then we move on. We have 12 drops of lavender oil for 3 cups of rose petals. Well, that's the same problem. You're putting less with the same number of cups. So let's mark that one out. C, we have 15 drops of lavender oil for every 2 cups of rose petals. Well, we're putting more drops per cup, so that's an option. Okay, well, then we go to D, 15 drops of lavender oil for every 5 cups. Well, you're putting the same amount of lavender oil with more cups, so that's not going to be it. So you should have chose C as the correct answer. Number 9. Rashad reads a total of 35 pages every 5 days. Based on this information, how many days will it take him to read a total of 84 pages? Well, we know he starts out with 35 pages in 5 days. And we want to know for 84 pages. Well, I have to put 84 pages up here because order matters. But can I easily go from 35 to 84? Not really. So I'm going to have to work my way down to figure out how many pages he reads in 1 day. So what do I do to 5 to get 1? Divide by 5. What do I do at the bottom? Got to do the top. 35 divided by 5 gives me 7. So he reads 7 pages in 1 day. So now what do I do to 7 to get 84? Multiply by 12. What do I do at the top? Got to do the bottom. So 1 times 12 gives me 12 days. So, how many days will it take him to read a total of 84 pages? 12 days. Number 10. Fiona and Michael are chefs. They each make a similar sauce. The sauce contains tomato juice and lime juice. The table shows how much tomato juice and lime juice each chef uses. Whose sauce has the stronger lime juice flavor? Well, if we look at Fiona's, we have 14 teaspoons of tomato juice to 4 teaspoons of lime juice. And then Michael's is 19 to 5. But these still don't have the same denominator. So I'm going to have to change that to get an equivalent fraction. Well, 4 times 5 is 20. Let's just do that one. What do I do to 4 to get 20? Multiply by 5. What do I do to the bottom? Got to do the top. 14 times 5 gives me 70. And then for Michael's, what do I do to 5 to get 20? Multiply by 4. What do I do to the bottom? Got to do the top. 19 times 4 gives me 76. So whose sauce has the stronger lime juice flavor? Well, Michael's has more lime juice than Fiona's does. So that would be Michael. All right, number 11. To make spicy ketchup, Luis needs 6 ounces of hot sauce for every 7 ounces of ketchup. To make spicy mustard, he needs 5 ounces of hot sauce for every 6 ounces of mustard. Luis has 150 ounces of hot sauce. Can he make more spicy ketchup or more spicy mustard? Well, the spicy ketchup tells us he has 6 ounces of hot sauce for every 7 ounces of ketchup. All right. I should make that a K for ketchup. And then the spicy mustard, we have 5 ounces of hot sauce for every 6 ounces of mustard. So, we want to know, well, we know that he only has 150 ounces of hot sauce. So, that is the max amount that he can use. So, now what do I do to 6 to get 150? Multiply by 25. What do I do at the top? Got to do the bottom. 7 times 25. That gives me 175 ounces of ketchup. Now moving on to the spicy mustard. What do I do to 5 to get 150? Well, 5 times 3 gives me 15. And then add 1 0, I get 30. What do I do at the top? Got to do the bottom. 6 times 30. Well, 6 times 3 is 18. Add a 0. So I get 180 ounces of mustard. So which one can he make more of? Spicy ketchup or spicy mustard? Spicy ketchup, he can make 175 ounces. Spicy mustard, he can make 180 ounces. So that would be spicy mustard. Moving on to number 12. Natalina drives a moving van. She travels 372 miles in 6 hours. At what speed does she drive in miles per hour? So we want to know how many miles for every 1 hour. So if I know the beginning travel speed, so 372 miles for every 6 hours, and I want to get to 1 hour, well, what do I do to 6 to get 1? Divide by 6. What do I do at the bottom? To do at the top. 372 divided by 6. You get 62 miles. So, at what speed does she drive in miles per hour? So, per means 1, so 62 miles. Moving on to number 13. Carson has a package to mail. The package is 87 centimeters long. The shipping company only mails packages that are up to 35 inches long. Can Carson mail the package? Show your work. If 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters, and we want to know 35 inches, okay? So what do I do to 1 to get 35? Multiply by 35. What do I do at the top? Got to do the bottom. So 2.54 times 35 gives me 88.9 centimeters. So if we mark this out and we put 88.9 centimeters, the package that Carson is wanting to mail is 87 centimeters, and he can mail packages that are up to 88.9 centimeters. So, can he mail the package? Yes. Barely, but yes. All right, number 14. Carla makes paper airplanes. Today it takes her 32 minutes to make 16 paper airplanes. She plans to make paper airplanes for 96 minutes tomorrow and to work at the same rate. How many paper airplanes will she make tomorrow? Well, we start out with the rate of 32 minutes, 16 paper airplanes. Okay, so, and she plans to work for 96 minutes tomorrow. So that's going to go on top because minutes has to stay with minutes and planes have to stay with planes. So what do I do to 32 to get 96? Multiply by 3. What do I do to the top? Got to do the bottom. So 16 times 3 gives me 48 planes. So how many paper airplanes will she make tomorrow? 48. Number 15. At a farmer's market, a package of pears weighs 3 pounds and costs $9. Bananas are priced at $4 or 4 pounds per dollar. Use rates to show which kind of fruit is more expensive per per pound. So we want to know the price for 1 pound. Okay, so pears, it gives us 3 pounds for $9. And we want to know the price for 1 pound. So what do I do to 3 to get 1? Divide by 3. What do I do to the top? Got to do the bottom. So 9 divided by 3 gives me $3 per pound. And then bananas, it gives us 4 pounds for $1. Now, I want to know price for 1 pound, not $1. So what do I do to 4 to get 1? Divide by 4. What do I do to the top? Do the bottom. Well, $1 divided by 4 gives me 25 cents per pound. So, which kind of fruit is more expensive per pound? Pears are more expensive. Number 16, Shanase buys a plastic bucket. The bucket weighs 460 grams. The label on the bucket says made with 20% recycled plastic. How many grams of recycled plastic are used to make Shanase's bucket? So we need to find 20% of 460 grams. Well, 20% is a fraction. Percents are out of 100. Of means to do what? Multiply, that's right. 460 is a fraction. Put whole numbers over 1 to make it a fraction. Oops. Now, 2 times 46 gives me 92, and then I've got to add 1, 2 zeros to the end. Then 100 times 1 gives me 100. Cancel out my zeros. I get 92 over 1, which equals 92. So how many grams of recycled plastic are used to make Shanase's bucket? 92 grams. Moving on to number 17, Elizabeth buys a package of 360 marbles. She gives away 216 of the marbles. What percent of the marbles did she give away? So, if we're looking at part to total equals percent over 100. So, she buys a package of 360 marbles. Well, that's going to be our total. She gives away 216. And we want to know what percent. So this is what we're looking for. And we know percent is out of 100. So what do I do to 360 to get 100? Divide by 36. What do I do to the bottom? Do the top. So 216 divided by 36 gives me 6%. Moving on to number 18. Simmons and Magda do push-ups for exercise. Simmons does 42 push-ups in 360 seconds. Magda does 42 push-ups or 24 push-ups in 3 minutes. Who does push-ups at a faster rate? So first let's look at Simmons. So we have 42 push-ups in 360 seconds. And then Magda does 24 push-ups in 3 minutes. Well, we can't compare seconds to minutes. So let's change our minutes over to seconds. Well, 3 minutes, 1 minute equals 60 seconds. So 3 minutes gives us 180 seconds. So what I do, it's still going to be 24 push-ups. Now, I want to work my way up to 360 seconds from 180. So what do I do to 180 to get 36? Well, I know 18 times 2 gives me 36. So multiply by 2. What do I do to the bottom? Do the top. So 24 times 2 gives me 48 push-ups in 360 seconds. So who does push-ups at a faster rate? Well, Simmons does 42 push-ups in 360 seconds, and Magda does 48 push-ups in 360 seconds. So Magda does push-ups at a faster rate. Number 19, Miss Doan spends $36 at a carnival. This is 75% of the money she brings to the carnival. How much money does Miss Doan bring to the carnival? Well, we start out, we know that $36 equals 75%. And I can't really go from 75 to 100 easily. So I've got to work my way down to 25%. Because 75 divided by 3 gives me 25. What I do at the bottom? do to the top. So 36 divided by 3 gives me $12. Now, what do I do to 25 to get 100? Multiply by 4. What do I do to the bottom? Do to the top. So 12 times 4 gives me $48. So how much money does Miss Doan bring to the carnival? $48. Moving on to number 20. Theo practices yoga for the same amount of time every day. After he practices yoga for 18 minutes on Saturday, he has finished 24% of his daily yoga practice. How many more minutes does Theo practice yoga on Saturday? Well, it gives us that he practices yoga for 18 minutes on Saturday, and that means he's finished 24%. Well, I cannot easily go from 24 to 100, so I've got to work my way down to something, and 4 seems to be a good number to work my way down to. So what do I do to 24 to get 4? Divide by 6. What do I do to the bottom? Do the top. 18 divided by 6 gives me 3. So I know that 4% is 3 minutes. So what do I do to 4 to get 100? Multiply by 25. What do I do to the bottom? Do to the top. Well, 25 times 3 gives me 75. But 75 is not our answer because they want to know how many more minutes does he practice yoga on Saturday. So we start out with 75, and then he's completed 18 minutes. So I've got to subtract that. 5 minus 8, can't do it, got to borrow. 7 becomes 6, 5 becomes 15, 15 minus 8 is 7, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So he has 57 minutes left. And that is the end of your study guide.